Hi, Diana, and today is our final Q&A our final episode for our series that we started on Ask Us Relationships, right?
Yes. Oh my God. It's
Uh,
exciting. It's exciting.
yeah, it's mixed feelings, but it's more excitement and more of, wow, we've come so far.
Yes. Yeah. So this is what our eighth session, eighth episode, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So last few Wednesday, we've done the grief workshop with our private group. And we've done not one, but two gathering. It was very successful, and we had a really great turnout. And we just wanted to express our gratitude for all of those who came and participated and share the most vulnerable stories and experiences and knowledge and wisdom. And we would not have been able to do it without each and every one of you. So thank you so much.
Yeah, same. Thank you. It was a magical experience for me, with the people that were there and how it turned out. And it was just beautiful to see all of us coming together and sharing in that common space, that common feeling, the common emotions, right? It was just beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And the art therapy, I'm glad that everybody had some amazing experience in it. Oh, yes. So what do we have in store for today?
Oh, this is a hot topic. Christmas, right? Christmas. So the question for everyone is, what is Christmas? Is it time for joy or time for chaos?
That's a big
Yeah,
question.
yeah. And to start to kick this one off, Diana and I, we would like to set a scene, right? Let's see what the possibilities are, what Christmas can look like for many families. So we have here, let's say, the Martin family. We have Mr. and Mrs. Martin, and they have two kids, Abbey and Sam. This time they have invited, they are hosting the family dinner, the Christmas dinner. So they've got their parents, their siblings, their in-laws, everyone's invited. So now let's see what are the possibilities of things going wrong and how they can possibly manage the situation.
So this is we're doing a rapid fire question, right? We're not going to overthink our answer, and we're just going to read out the question and see what comes up. I did not prepare for this. We'll
I
see what.
prepared a little bit.
Yeah, I read it and I go, "Hmm, yeah, okay. So you're more prepared than I am. Let's see what happens.
Oh gosh, more pressure.
Okay, so I'm going to ask the first question to Natasha. So how will the Martin family cater to diverse preferences and dietary restriction during the Christmas gathering with in-laws, parents, and siblings?
Wow. It is a lot of thing to think about, right? It can feel like a pressure because this time you have to think about so many people. So planning. When it's a big gathering, planning for with everything. Especially you mentioned dietary requirements, right? So asking everyone, first of all, is asking if they have any special requirements. Are there any restrictions? So, for example, if the mother-in-law eats less salt in her food because of her health, or if the sister-in-law is vegetarian, right? Unless you don't ask, you wouldn't know everyone's requirement. Or the kids don't eat very spicy. That's always in my house. Being
Yeah.
Indian family, we eat spicy, my kids don't. So again, it's knowing each one's requirement. And when you're making the preparation, when you're cooking and when you're planning the menu, planning for each one accordingly. This way, again, all these other practical stuff, I would say, but most importantly is to set your intention. And also when you're cooking, when you're preparing the meal, having that pure intention that I'm doing this for this person. So even that person, when they will feel it, even if it is, say, one vegetarian dish for the sister-in-law, she will feel it that this has been done for me. She will feel special. And that's how the energy will flow. There will be a pure energy, positive energy flowing, rather than feeling, oh, okay, yeah, she's vegetarian. Oh my gosh, what do I make for her? I can't cook vegetarian. Already you're putting a lot of negative energy into that, right? Just by your thoughts. To have that pure intention.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. So I love that, the consideration and intention. So it will be good for everyone to have one dish that is thought of for the members of the family, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right, you're next.
Cool. Next. So the next question is, oh gosh, my phone just keeps going off. Right. So now the guests are arriving, and Mr. Martin's mom is a bit judgmental, right? She criticizes everything about her daughter-in-law. How can Mrs. Martin manage criticism from her mother-in-law?
Oh my gosh. This is probably a lifelong relationship question, not just for holiday, but in the spirit of the holiday, I think, oh gosh, this is really good. So I think what I would suggest is to be coached.
Yeah, before this happens, right?
Before
Yeah.
this, yeah, before the holiday, get coached and find the strategies and ways to um ground yourself. No, but on a serious note, I think that it's really important for the receiver of the criticism to not to find a way to not take things personally, and to see that people who usually criticize is a great indication of their inner world, and to understand that you are doing your best, you are catering to everyone, and the mother-in-law is probably having some controlling issues that she needs to satisfy, and to not take it too personally, and to redirect. I would say redirect, and to acknowledge. And so usually people who criticize really wants the attention. So give the attention and set the boundary, and then redirect. That's what I would do. So what does that look like? So mother-in-law says, "Oh, you cooked
Oh, the
the
turkey is too
turkey
hard.
is too dry. Oh yeah, the turkey's too dry. This is not very well done." And you know how to diffuse that? I would just say, "You're right. You're right. It is quite dry, isn't it?" And then redirect. Have some sweet potatoes or mashed potato, or have some more gravy in it. You diffuse that, because people who criticize is throwing you a rope to do the tug and war, right? Tug of war. And if you
Yeah.
pick up that rope, you are as much to blame as the other person. So diffuse it as much as you can. Understand that this criticism is coming from their own inner state, and she's probably very, stressed herself. So see past it, set the boundary, acknowledge them, and redirect. I hope that answers that question.
Oh, I love that. I especially the last part that you said, that was very powerful. If you pick up the rope, you're just equally responsible, right? Because now both are pulling.
Mhm. Yeah.
So you cannot say that it's just the other person. Okay, maybe it started from there. Diffuse it.
Yeah. Yeah, diffuse it. I would also advise to do this. I've done this before, not with the mother-in-law, of course, but from other kind of relationship. I even rehearse my comebacks because you know that the mother-in-law has a tendency to do that. So you kind of like think about, okay, when she does XYZ, this is how I'm going to, and imagine yourself doing it. So if she says like, I'm not, my decoration is not festive enough, this is how I would respond to it. So then you don't caught off guard and you try to look at ways to diffuse it rather than adding fire to it. There you go.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
All
All
right.
right.
So
Question
third
number
question. This is for you, Natasha. Gift exchanges can sometimes lead to awkward moments. Mrs. Martin's sister expressed a disinterest in gift giving and insisted she doesn't want anything. Mr. Martin felt awkward as he bought something for his brother-in-law. How has Mr. Martin's family planned for gift giving to make it enjoyable and fair for everyone involved?
Wow.
Hmm.
It's it is tricky because here there are different values at play, right? Often we think that, okay, say for example, if my love language is gifts, often people think, oh, who doesn't like gifts? Like, what is she talking about, right? And even if that person has said no, people would, the feeling is like, it almost makes them feel that they're doing something wrong by not giving presents because they value that so much. But really, it's not about, we have to think it's not about me. It's not about us. Yes, we as a family value gifts. That's what we do. But if someone has specifically said, I don't like, I don't want present, it's okay. Like, don't buy present for me. And she's insisting that we don't want presents. Respect that.
Mm.
I feel that's again, that's my opinion. Like that's what I would do. Respect, because that person must be valuing something else. Their love language must be something else, right? Maybe their love language is act of service. But again, it's not our responsibility to now go and start finding out everyone's love language. It's a big gathering, right? You could, if you really want to, if you really feel like, this year I really want to go that extra mile. I have tons of time in my hands, loads of energy to do this. Go for it. Find out each one's love language and maybe then see what they like. But if that's like, I don't know, maybe that's only in movies or something like that. Practically, you might not have the time and energy to do that, right? So, again, respect that, because when you respect the other person, they will feel that. They will feel respected. They will feel appreciated. They will feel loved because they know that you've listened to what they've said, right?
Mm.
Also, now Mr. Martin has already bought present for his brother. So he could say that, I really respect you said no present, but I've already bought something for my brother. So would you accept it? And leave it in their hands. If they accept it, okay. And even if they say no, don't take it hard because they did mention that they do not want presents, right?
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. I love that. Like find the love language. If you have time, definitely. So maybe next year, that's something like you can do as a family gathering on Thanksgiving and do a mini workshop. like make it into a game, right? Make it into a fun ways to connect. And that's one thing that during Thanksgiving is nice to have and learn from each other, and then use that information for Christmas time.
Yeah,
Beautiful. Awesome.
cool.
Next
Let's
one.
move on to question number 4. Now, your kids are all playing, everyone's here, and your sister's daughter is constantly snatching. When I say your, it's for Mrs. Martin, right? So again, Mrs. Martin's sister's daughter, her niece, is constantly snatching Abby's toys. Oh, I like this. I want to play with this. I want that. And clearly, Abby is getting upset about this. Mrs. Martin goes and says, Abby, share with your cousin. She's your cousin. Share with her. Give it to her. And Abby goes, no, I don't want to share. It's mine. What should Mrs. Martin do?
For the record, I'm not a family coach. This is probably more for you to answer than me, but I will give it a big shot. I will give it a shot to answer it. As a mom myself, I think in the past I would have said exactly what Mrs. Martin would have said, like, oh, give that. They came here for a visit. It would be nice to, be nice or be kind or whatnot. That's no longer my values. What I would say now, I would encourage my daughter to see if she's willing to put a timer on the toy that she does not want to share yet, and have a conversation with the two kids and say, I don't think Abby is finished playing with it yet. Why don't we set a timer for 5 minutes and ask Abby if that's okay with her? And then at the 5 minute mark, you can share with a cousin. And often what happens with that is that they lose interest, and then Abby might say, oh, fine, I'll share now. And 99% of the time is that the kid who owns the toy just wanted to be acknowledged that it's hers and she doesn't want to share it. And so acknowledging that she doesn't want to share it yet, I always love putting yet on every decisions they make, because it's not written on stone. And I want them to understand that things change, your decision can change, and you're not stuck with one thing. So that's what I would do, is to encourage both of them to set a timer for the toys that they play, and that if they cannot agree on sharing, I don't know if this is a good thing, but the toy has to go. And so find something else to play with that they can both agree on sharing, and the timer has to be set for them. I'm not a big believer on sacrificing yourself to make other people happy. I think it's a conditioning that we've learned from when we were kids, that if we have visitors, you have to basically give up everything you own, share everything you have, and be nice, be kind. And what ends up happening there is that we believe that this is how the standard that we have to set when people stay and visit us. So it's not a good way to learn as a kid. So right now it's more to do with how can we coexist and play together respectfully and with boundaries. So I usually sit with my kids and say, the toys that you don't want to share, it has to be put away. Everything that is out, you've decided they need to be shared. So I want you to consider that. And the rules are, so I have not a lot of rules, but I have set of rules when the kids are come, and I make them recite it. So before they start to get together, it's like, okay, what are the rules? And usually they know it. Like most of the kids who come to my house, it's just more like, it's funny now. No biting, no yelling, no fighting,
Yeah.
and then no touching, right? And we share, or be kind, not nice. So you have to be kind. And what that looks like is that even if you don't want to do certain things, say it kindly and respectfully. You don't have to be nice. I don't want them to think that you have to be nice, and that, because that is, when we're nice, we often sacrifice our happiness, our comfort, in expense to accommodate others.
Yeah.
How is
I
that, parent
love
coach?
that. That's beautiful. That's just spot on, because
Okay.
end of the day, it is about empowering our kids. Yes, we want them to be kind. Yes, we want them to share, but not at the cost of them giving up something. They need to feel empowered. Yeah, I want to share. They need to feel that, right? Not just because mom said I have to share. Now I have to share. And it's just not fair, is it? It is my toy. Again, and if that person, and I love how you said that if you are not willing to share, those toys needs to go away. That's that's amazing, because yeah, if you don't want to share, fair enough. You don't want to share it. That's yours. Yeah, keep it
Mm.
safe.
Yeah,
So good.
perfect. Okay, your turn. So how does the Martin family plan to handle potential disagreements over sensitive topics like politics or controversial issues during the holiday gathering? Politics and religions and beliefs are a big issues when it comes to holiday gathering. How would they handle those potential disagreement?
Yeah. With family gathering, sometimes it's also boredom, right? Sometimes there's a gathering. And if it's going on for a long time and nothing's happening, you're just sitting there, topics start to come out. And no, and sometimes, okay, if it's politics, but sometimes it could really be because you've seen this person now, that topics like come up in your mind because you've seen this person. And it will come up, right?
Mhm.
So planning some activity for the day. Obviously, you will be there, you'll be talking, and it's nice. But you don't want to get up to that stage where it's like getting boring, and now it's like we're trying to find a topic. Oh, okay, hot topic, politics. There you go. Now it starts. But again, respecting the other person's point of view, even if now the topic has come up. Everyone's sitting, the topic has come out, you are talking about it. If there's a difference in opinion, respect the other person's point of view. Also remember, the other person doesn't have to agree with you, right? So let them be. And also don't keep the topic separate from the person. If you are talking about politics, it's just about the situation. It's just about what's going on in that situation. Don't link it with the person. That's when the disagreement can come up. Oh, you always say that. Oh, you have always been like that.
Yeah.
And that's the start. Like that will spark something. And worse come worse, right? You're at the table. All this has started. And now maybe after a few drinks, right? People don't have control over what they're saying. And they've said something. Now it's picking up, and you can feel that, it's gonna end up in an argument. It's picking up now. Diffuse the situation. Be calm. Try to stay calm. And Even if the other person is getting all overwhelmed and full of emotions, give them space to calm down.
Mm.
Don't make them feel bad about, you know, if they're behaving a certain way, or if they're being loud, or if they're shouting across. Don't make them feel bad about it. Acknowledge that, okay, maybe right now it's getting a bit too much. And remind them of the intention of why everyone's here. Remember, we're here to spend this nice time. Let's be joyful. Let's not let's not politics ruin this dinner for us. So let's keep this topic for another time. And if that person needs space, give them the space to calm down. So yeah,
Love
that's how I would see it.
I love that. It's respect, acknowledgement, and reminding that the intention for the gathering is to celebrate the holiday and connection. Love that. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Going to our last one. Jeez.
Oh yes,
Last
that's the last one, right? I have to keep turning on my phone for the question. Right now, Diana, the party's over. Families have gone back home. It's just you, not you. It's just Mrs. Martin, Mr. Martin, Abby, and Sam. Everyone's tired, everyone's knackered. Mr. Martin decides that he's too tired. He goes to bed, leaving Mrs. Martin to clean up with all the mess and also to sort out the kids. How should she handle this situation? Oh,
This
you're
is
feeling it, aren't you?
this is the funniest and so real question. It does happen. Well, first of all, I'll be bug-eyed.
Exactly. We say funny, funny right now. In that moment, oh my
In the
God,
moment,
it's not
right?
funny.
Yeah. I think get coached. No, seriously though, I think that one of the things that before the gathering has to happen is that you and your husband, Mrs. and Mr. Martin, has to come to an agreement on how they're going to attack the day and the day after that, and when it's finished. Divide the responsibility, and that you both have come into or agreed to host the gathering, the celebration at your house, and therefore both of you has to share the 100% each participation in the cleaning up and all of that responsibility. So it's not 50-50 to make it 100. It's like, what is the state of your 100 and where are you at and where am I at? And then try to see what you can do together to make sure that it ends in a high note rather than resentment and disagreement. And if you're both tired, pause it. If Mr. Martin went to bed and the kids went to bed, the dishes can wait tomorrow when both of you are at 100%. The house can be cleaned tomorrow or the day after that, when both of you are at 100% capacity. And then you can include the kids to clean up some of the stuff. And so it becomes more of a group effort. I love during our previous sessions, you mentioned about contribution in the household chores, right? So I think that's the time when you're like, okay, we all have to contribute to cleaning the house to get into a state where it's breathable and clean. So what can you do? And ask what they are willing to do. And then see how you can allocate some of the other things that you cannot do. Maybe you can hire a cleaning lady for one day, if that's a possibility. And or see you know, what you can do and then what Mr. Martin can do, and then negotiate and have an agreement about how you're going to attack it rather than pointing fingers and leaving the other person or the other half behind and go off and um, ignore that there is, you know, there is a stuff to clean up because it's real. It's there. It's not going to clean up without everybody involved, right? So that's how I would approach it. What do you think?
Yeah, amazing. Amazing. I love it because sometimes, you know, like some people have OCD, right? And they cannot like mess is something then it has to be sorted. Acknowledge that, right? Acknowledging that, okay, everyone's tired right now. And just because I need the cleaning to be done right now, it doesn't mean that everyone else will. But I like it, what you said, like planning, how it's going to plan out. And this way, you're clearing the expectations. That's what I'm hearing, like having the expectations cleared. That whenever we do it together. The kids are involved, kids can do this, everyone is contributing in this. And if that person's tired, acknowledge that, okay, I'm tired too, just like Mr. Martin did. He acknowledged that he's tired, he's going to bed, he's probably drunk, he's had too many drinks.
Yeah.
He's not in a
Yeah.
state that he's going to be able to clean up. So acknowledging your own life, where am I at, right? Okay, I'm tired as well. Maybe time to go to bed. And as you said, when we are both at 100% recharged because we've been drained all day, now we are recharged. Let's get on. Let's attack. And I love also what you mentioned about hiring someone, right?
Mhm.
If you've had a massive big gathering and it's a lot of work, yeah, you could get someone the next day to clean it up.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. We did it.
Wow, I like this. It was really cool.
I love that. Yeah. I think one of the things too that I would like to have the audience to remember that there's a huge difference between expectations and having faith in people. Right? And what are the difference between those two? When you have faith in people, you understand their shortcomings, you know their strength, you know their values, you know their core values, and you know their pattern behavior. That you've known that all their lives, you know their automatic response to things. And having that in the back of your mind, it won't surprise you if something comes up, right? And so when you have expectation, that's when you have your own agenda, you know, your wishes, your fantasy. Okay, I expect my husband to clean up after me after the day is over. Like the last question was, you know, I expect my husband to clean with me after the party is done. That's your expectation. And then that has not been communicated. So if that is not met, expectation is often the root of all disappointment and resentment. So if you have an expectation, do express it with whoever you're having that expectations with and clear it and say, I'm hoping, which is your expectation, that this particular situation is dealt this way. And what do you think about that? So now you are negotiating.
Yeah,
And if they agree, then the expectation is set and there is an agreement to the expectations, right?
yeah,
And at the same time, you are having faith in this person that what he or she said is something that you can trust and rely on because of their pattern behavior and their ways of dealing with situations. And so then everything is smooth sailing. Like you don't have to, there are no surprises. So
yeah,
if you know that your mother-in-law is going to be judgmental, and criticizing, that's the faith that you have with your mother-in-law, and say, I know that as soon as she comes in the door, she's going to tell me that something is not enough in my house, something is not enough in me. And that is the faith. You can count on her that she will always do that. But to expect and say, as soon as she comes to the door, I hope, I'm pretty sure, because I've done everything that she might like, I'm pretty sure that she's going to be giving me compliment this time. That is your expectations. And that might not happen. So then you get really disappointed and you get really hurt because your expectations are not met. So find the balance during this holiday season, because it's the only way to be. Life is too short to dwell into expectations. You have expectation, express them, communicate with the people that you're having that expectations with, and keep the holiday light and pure, full of love and connection. Right? That's my last word.
Yeah, so we are at the end of this series. Wow, we will come back with lots more questions. Again, send your questions to us so we can discuss and talk about it and shed some light on these topics that sometimes doesn't get spoken about, right?
Yeah.
So, from my side, from the Loving Relationships community, we wish everyone love and blessing this Christmas, and surely time for joy and not chaos.
Absolutely, pure joy. That's the only way to go. And make this connection and this holiday season a memorable one. Thank you, everyone, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Yeah, meet everyone in the new year.
Yes, that's right.
Thank you,
Okay.
Diana.
Bye.